Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Um, Today we're going to discuss about the elusive Jubilee. Yeah, I had discovered when the Jubilee years are since 2002, and it's with ridicule that I watched all the videos on YouTube about the Jubilee year. It was revealed to me by none other than himself, the Lord Jesus Christ, Yeshua Mashiach Sikeno. He revealed when the Jubilee is to me. And I think it's most timely that I share with you now. Anyway, just before we start on the Jubilee, I'd like to talk about my new book called Jewish Calendar Fraud. Can you see? It's called Jewish Calendar Fraud. Available on Amazon.com, Amazon.co.uk, Amazon.ca, Amazon.it, Amazon.de, Amazon.fr. That's my new book called Jewish Calendar Fraud. You can buy it on those websites. The international series book number is 978-1-9737-3686-8. I repeat, 978-1-9737-3686-8. You can type those numbers on any search engine and it will take you directly to this book. Buy a copy for yourself, friends, family, and even enemies alike, for nobody wants to go to the lake of fire. There's no coming back, there's no recourse. Once you're put into the lake of fire at the end of the world, that's the end for you. You perish, you lose your spiritual body, and you just be like a thought. And that's very painful. Forever. No water to drink, no food to eat. Okay. Thanks a lot. So, let's proceed. Authors like Jonathan Kahn of The Mystery of the Shemitah and Mark Beals of the Blood Moons have said no one knows for sure when the next Jubilee is, but they're all wrong, for Prince Michael A.Kwende knows when the Jubilee is. The Jubilee depends on an arithmetical formula. You can call it a mathematical formula, but when you're dealing with just figures, you say arithmetic. That's what the Jubilee is. It depends on an arithmetical formula. As easy as that. No complications. It's in the book of Leviticus 25. Leviticus 25, verse 1 to around 12. The Lord ordained the Jubilee year, that you count 7 years, you celebrate a Sabbath on the 7th year. No sowing, no reaping. Then you count 7 times 7 years, that's 49 years. At the end of the 49 years, on the 50th year, on the 10th day of the 50th year, you blow the shofar, the trumpet, to celebrate the Jubilee year. The 10th day is the 10th of Tishrei. 10th of Tishrei, Yom Kippur, Day of Atonement. You blow the trumpet and you celebrate the Jubilee. Now, These Jubilee years, they've been lost for millennia, and nobody could tell them except at the end of the age when Prince Michael is bringing it to you. The Shemitah years of 7 have been kept rigorously, but the Jubilee has been lost because of the diaspora of our people, the Jews. Okay, so now let's see where we stand. Looking at the Bible, creation. First of all, there's a problem with the Jewish calendar. That's what my book, Jewish Calendar Fraud, is all about. Jewish calendar fraud. Let me show you. Let's have a look once more. That's a book, The Jewish Calendar Fraud. Jewish Calendar Fraud by Prince Michael A.Kwende. Yeah, that's it. There's been a problem with the Jewish calendar, year dating errors, but the rest of the dates are spot on. They're perfect. The rest, the holidays and so on. But there's a year dating error in the de facto Jewish calendar, the current calendar as we know it. There's a year dating error. So, from creation, because the Jewish calendar places creation at 3761 BC. That's a year 0. And I think on that calendar, creation begins on Saturday the 12th of April, which is wrong. Creation is supposed to begin on a Sunday, not Saturday. So that already proves that the calendar is wrong. So on that calendar, creation begins on Saturday the 12th of April 3761 BC. That's when creation begins. But on my legitimate calendar, Prince Michael's legitimate calendar, Jewish calendar, legitimate Jewish calendar, creation begins in 4076 BC on the 16th of April 4076 BC on the 1st of Nisan. The 1st of Nisan minus 315 because 4076 is in the negative from 3761 when the Jewish calendar began. It's 315 years removed. So when searching on the Jewish calendar, any de facto Jewish calendar that goes far back to 10,000 plus and 10,000 minus, you insert minus 315 to get 4076 BC. Okay. From Prince Michael's legitimate Jewish calendar, creation began on the 16th of April, Sunday the 16th of April, 4076 BC, which is Sunday the 1st of Nisan, minus 315. And the Exodus took place in the year 2667. From that date, from 4076 BC, on that day of creation, Sunday the 1st of Nisan, minus 315, on Sunday the 16th of April, 4076 BC. We count 2667 years. That's when the Exodus took place. Now, to get a corresponding year on the Jewish calendar, because Exodus took place on the 15th of Nisan, 2667, or the 15th of Nisan, 2352 on the Jewish de facto calendar. You just subtract 315 years. Yeah. We got these dates from the Bible. If we start in the book of Genesis, Genesis 5:1, it says, and Adam lived this number of years, and he begat this one, Enoch, and so on. And he lived this number of years, and he begat this one. You count all, adding up all those figures. Then you move from there to Genesis 10:11. Out of all the figures, you get right down to Abraham. Then we know Abraham was 100 years old when he got Isaac. Isaac was 60 years old when he got Jacob. About the age of Jacob when he got Joseph. Nobody can tell. Except that when Pharaoh asked Jacob how old he was, he said, the years of my pilgrimage have been 130. But we know Joseph, he was 37 years old. He became Prince of Egypt, the great Prince of Egypt. 3 years later, his brothers arrived. 2 years of famine. So he said these 2 years have been very serious. The next 5 years, that's when his brothers were going back to get the father from outside Egypt to bring them, the family, into Egypt. So that was 3 years. So Jacob was 40 years, Joseph was 40 years old when the family came, when Israel immigrated into Egypt. Now, if Joseph was 40 and Pharaoh interviewed Jacob, and Jacob said the years of my pilgrimage are 130, it means he was 130 years old and Joseph was 40, which means when Joseph was 1 or 0 years old, when he was about to be born, Jacob was 90 years, 130 minus 40, so get Jacob's age, 90, when he got Joseph. Now, at 90, so we got Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. So Jacob was 90 at the entrance into Egypt, the immigration into Egypt. And we know they were in Egypt for 430 years, so we add 430 years to that. I've just given you the dates from creation. That will take you to the end of the Exodus. Then we are lost for the years of the judges and prophets and so on. The Bible doesn't give the date. But if we are lucky, we'll jump to 1 Kings 6:1. And it says, in the 480th year after the children of Egypt left Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon. So we know there were 480 years when the children of Egypt left Egypt at the Exodus, after 430 years stay in Egypt. The 480 years after they left Egypt on the Exodus to the 4th year of Solomon. So we just extrapolate to count backwards to get the 1st year of Solomon. If the 480th year was the 4th year, then the 479th year was the 3rd year, the 478 was the 2nd year, the 477 was the 1st year, and that overlaps the last year of King David, because Solomon was anointed king while David was still alive. It was David who asked the priest and the prophet to go and anoint Solomon before his other son usurped the throne. So he was, so the 477th year of after the Exodus, was the first year of Solomon, which means the 406th year was just when he was about to be, was the last, was when he was about to be enthroned, the 476th year. Subtract 70 years and 6 months of David, and that means at the threshold of King David's being born, there were 406 years. 476 minus, or 477 minus 70.5. That will give 406 years. So there were 406 years from the Exodus to the birth of King David. So simply just add, added 406 years now. So simply just add 70.5 years of David, 70 years 6 months, for he reigned in Jerusalem 7 years and reigned in the rest of Israel 30.5 years. So we add the 70, he was 30 years old when he began to reign. 70.5 to 406. So get that distance covered. Then King Solomon too was 30 years old when he began to reign. He also reigned to the age of, how old was Solomon again? I think he reigned for, I think King Solomon reigned also for 40 years. We don't even need to know when he was born. He reigned for 40 years. So add that to the 70.5. And then we'll go to the book of Kings, First Kings. We'll get all the years after the split of the kingdom of all the kings. We just simply add all those up to the Assyrian captivity of Israel, the northern kingdom, the 10 northern tribes, where it stops in 756 years, 1 month, and 7 days from the Exodus. That's when the Assyrian captivity took place. We just add all those years of reigns of kings, we get to the Assyrian captivity, which happened in 7 how many BC? 737, 736 BC or something. Yeah, the Assyrian captivity took place. So Israel was completely annihilated. They didn't exist anymore after that. 756 years, 1 month, and 7 days from the Exodus. But we didn't get those dates from that. We added the dates of the reigns of the kings. The last king of Israel was King Hoshea. We had of his years with the last year of his reign. Then Judah continued to the Babylonian captivity with the last kings, not last king, but the king at the captivity, Jehoiakim. So Judah was annihilated. Judah was annihilated in 882 years after 882.75, the 6 months of Solomon plus the 3 months of one other king just before the captivity. It makes 882.75. Let's just take the 882 minus the 756 of Israel when they were annihilated. So that gives 126, which is Shemitah, divided by 7. It gives a clean figure, 18. So there were 18 Shemitas, or Shavuas, Shavuim. That's a plural, Shavuim. There were 18 Shavuim, 106 years between the annihilation of Israel and Judah. Now we are the Babylonian captivity, occurring 882.75 years after the Exodus. We've added up all the years of the reigns of the king. That's how we got 882, plus the 406 years of the Exodus to the first year of King David, the birth of King David, plus David's reign of 40 years, plus his age and reign 30, that makes 70.5. So 406 plus 70.5, 476.5. Then the fourth year of, that be 475, sorry, 0.5, plus the fourth year of King Solomon, which was the 480th year plus 4, that makes 479.5. Then we add all the king reigns from first kings and second kings of the reigns of the kings of Judah and Israel, separate reigns when the kingdom split around 856 years, 856 BC. Yes. Yes, so we've added all those years and we are the Babylonian captivity. Then we add the third year of Joachim, King Joachim. He reigned for 11 years, so we add the, we know the exact reign year because we know the Babylonian captivity took place for 70 years and 10 days. So we add the, on the third year of Joachim, the king at Babylon captivity, we had 8 years after captivity. That makes a total of 11 years reign, plus the 3 months reign of Jehoiachin, plus the 11 years reign of Zedekiah, which was the, at this 11th year, that was the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar, and that brings us to 901 years after the Exodus, at the 11th year of Zedekiah, or the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar, because the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the king at the Babylonian captivity, was the first year of Nebuchadnezzar. So the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar is the 11th year of Zedekiah. That will be 11 plus 8 of 11 of Zedekiah plus 8 of Joachim, the king of captivity, plus the 3 months of Jehoiachin, the king in between both Zedekiah and Jehoiakim. Yes, so that makes 18 years, 3 months, which is the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar. Then from there now, where the end of the last king of Israel on the 11th year. But we don't need to go into that, for we know we regress back to the beginning of the captivity, 882 years, 0.75 after the Exodus. We stand there, we look forward 70 years, 10 days. I'll discuss that in my next video, the Babylonian captivity and the 70 years of Daniel, and the 70 weeks of Daniel, and the 70th week. We just project from the beginning of the Babylonian captivity, 70 years, 10 days. Remember, from the captivity to the Exodus, or from the Exodus to the captivity, took 882 years, 0.75, 882.75 years. So project 70 years from that date of the captivity, 70 years, 10 days. So 882 plus 70 They give us how much? I think it's 952. And that's a Shemitah year, because 952 is divisible by 7. And that is because the Babylonian captivity took place in the year 3234. After their creation, the de facto Jewish calendar creation, in 3761 BC. You count 3234 years, you land at the Babylonian captivity. Now, if you add 70 years to that, it gives you the year 3304 at the end of captivity, which are the 70 with the 70th year of Daniel. Now, from that date, 3304, you don't need to do anything else. You just simply add the 70 weeks of Daniel, the 69 weeks, 3 score, 7 sevens, and 3 score, and 2 sevens. 62 plus 7, 69 times 7, 493 years. You add 493 years to 3304. That is the year of the beginning of the 70 weeks, which is contiguous. There's no gap between the end of captivity and the beginning of the Daniel 70 weeks. So you add 483 years and you land at 3,787 years after their creation. 3,787 is a factor of, is a multiple of 7. The Shemitah year, which means the Lord came in that year, because it was given 7 sevens, 62 sevens, and the Shemitah. I've just given an outline of the 70 weeks. I don't think there's any point to give me another video on the 70 weeks, but I'll still try so I can infuse some details in it. Anyway, so really, we're really talking about a Jubilee year, about all this, before I went into all this summations. Calculus. Anyway, we are at the coming of Messiah, Daniel's 70 weeks, 69 weeks. And that happened 3,787 is the corresponding year, is 26 AD. The 26 AD is a Shemitah year. Since it happened, since the Babylonian captivity ended in 457 BC, because Daniel's 7, so the Babylonian captivity took place in 527 BC. 527 plus 70 minus 527 plus 70. It gives 457. 457 plus 483 minus 457 plus 483 gives 26, which is 26 AD. Anyway, that's that. So we are now at the coming of Messiah in 26 AD. 3,787 years, which is equivalent to 4,102 years in Prince Michael's calendar. You just simply add 315 years to 3,787 and you get 4,102. Now, so we're there at the coming of Messiah, because it said in that prophecy, from the going forth of the decree to rebuild Jerusalem unto the coming of Messiah the Prince shall be 7 sevens and 3 score and 2 sevens. 3 score is 60 plus 2, 62 plus the 7 of the 7 sevens 69. So 69 sevens. 69 times 7 is 483. That's how you get it. Anyway, we're talking about the Jubilee year. So others like, hallelujah, the Jubilee year is now known. So others like Jonathan Kahn of the Ministry of the Shemitah have all said nobody knows for sure when the Jubilee is, but they're all wrong. First of all, they've denoted 2000 and they denoted 2015, 2016 as the Jubilee year, but they are wrong. Because they've said to themselves, oh, is it 2016, 2017? Yeah, I think so. 2016. Yes. They've said 2016, 2017 is Jubilee year. 2016 minus 49. So because why they've said 2016, 2017 is Jubilee, because if you subtract 49 years from 2016, you get 1967. They call it a prophetic Jubilee. 2016, 2017 is prophetic Jubilee. You get 1967 if you subtract 49 years from 2016. And since the 6-day war in Israel was taking place against Israel and its Arab foes, Egypt, Syria, and so on, Judah, and so on. So they've called it prophetic Jubilee because if you subtract a further 49 years from 1967, you get 1918, and the Second World War was taking place. So this is a prophetic Jubilee since all significant dates of the suggested Jubilee occur on significant years, highly significant years in which wars were taking place. So they've denoted it as a prophetic Jubilee, but they're all wrong. Seriously wrong. There's nothing like a prophetic Jubilee. Jubilee is a Jubilee, and a Jubilee is a Jubilee. There's nothing like a prophetic Jubilee. What I'm saying is this. The Jubilee depends on a mathematical formula as it was prescribed, ordained in Leviticus 25, that for a year to be Jubilee, you count 7 sevens. That denote the 50th year as a Jubilee. So when and that 50th year is the first year of the next cycle. It's not like you're counting 50 years, 50, 50, because if you do that, you confound the cycle. So you're counting 49 years, but you do not the first year of the next cycle as the 50th year. Okay. So the Jubilee, it depends on, as Leviticus 25 says, you count those years, 7 times 7, and the 50th day you do not a Jubilee on the 10th day of the year, of the first month. So for a year to be a Jubilee, the preceding year has to be a multiple or a factor of 49. But remember, Jubilees were ordained from the Exodus, not from creation. But as we said just a few moments ago, that the Jubilee occurred in 2352 de facto calendar and 2667 Prince Michael's legitimate calendar. Now 2352 divided by 49 is 48, which means the year at the Exodus is a jubilee of sorts, because they occurred in a multiple of 49, 2352 for the de facto Jewish calendar. Are you getting what I'm saying? Which means every 49th year after the Exodus, as the Exodus itself happened to be a year prior to a Jubilee, the 49th year, 2352, divide it for yourself, 2352 years after their creation, 3761 BC is the Exodus, and that 2352 years is a year prior to a Jubilee because it occurs in the 49th year. 2352 is divisible by 49 by 48 times. So the Exodus by itself, by quirk of fate, happened to be a year prior to a Jubilee, which means every 49th year after the Exodus is Jubilee. And irrespective of that, in Prince Margaret calendar, which started in which has a Jubilee at 2667, 2667 is a multiple of 7 but not a multiple of 49. And it also applies from the Exodus. Every 49th year is also a jubilee on Prince Michael's calendar. So you see what I'm saying? What I'm saying is this: even though the years given on the Jewish calendar start from their creation in 3761 BC, even though it starts from that year, the year at the Exodus is 2352 years from that creation date of 3761 BC. It's a year prior, it's a Shemitah year prior to a Jubilee. It's a multiple of 49 by 48 times, which means it's just as equal as a 0. Yes. That year 2352 is just as equal as a 0. And every 49 years you count down from that year at the Exodus is a Jubilee. So you don't have to worry about the fact that the Jewish calendar doesn't begin from the Exodus, but begins at creation, because there's those who are going to say, no, but the Jewish calendar begins from creation, not from the Exodus. But the year on the Jewish calendar, I've calculated it, at the Exodus is the year 2352. I got this sum from my calendar reckonings, because if you calculate from the Bible, from creation to the Exodus, it is legitimate creation. From Adam, we calculate all those years going Genesis 5:1 and Genesis 10:11 and the First Kings and Second Kings and so on. From creation to the Exodus, it takes 2667 years. But we know that 2667 years is 315 years more than the Jewish calendar year did, because the Jewish calendar begins in 3761 BC, while the legitimate calendar, the Prince Margaret's calendar, Jewish calendar, begins in 4076 BC. And 4076 BC minus 3761 BC is 315 years. So simply just subtract 315 from 2667 to get the year at the Exodus for the Jewish de facto calendar, which is 2352. That's the year at the Exodus for the de facto Jewish calendar is 2352. Now that happens to be a multiple of 49 at the Exodus, which means it's just as good as a 0 from the Exodus because it's a 49th year. So every 49th year you count from the Exodus on the Jewish de facto calendar will still be a Jubilee because the year at the Exodus is a multiple of 49, which stands at 2352. What I'm saying is this: if you have a Shemitah year prior to a Jubilee, the 49th year at the Exodus, therefore every 49th year you count from the Exodus, going back to creation is also a Jubilee. Their creation, de facto creation. Did you get my argument? It's so simple, not complicated. So that year 2352 is Jubilee. The year of the Exodus is, a year prior to Jubilee, the 49th year, because Jubilee is the 50th year and the first year of the next cycle of 49. Which means for a year to be a Jubilee, the year prior to it has to be a multiple of 49 from Leviticus 25. Read it for yourself. Leviticus 25, 1 to 12. So now, when looking for the Jubilee year, all what we have to do is we have to look for a year that's a multiple of 49 that would denote the next year as a Jubilee. As easy as that. It was so easy. It's right in the face of everybody except Prince Michael. Because Prince Michael knew all these things since 2002. I knew when the Jubilee was since then. So it was there for all to see, but who could see it? Who could see it? Eyes that don't see it. That's what the late Miles Monroe, that's what he said in his book. What's that book called again? Visions, Dreams, Visions, The Power of Vision. The Power of Vision, Dreams, and something. The eyes that see are rare. Eyes that see are common, but eyes that perceive are rare. It was there in the face of everybody, but nobody could see it. But you need to go to school, you need to go do some elementary mathematics to understand this thing about factor. A number being a factor of another and a multiple of another. If you don't have that, you can't see it. If you don't know that. And even if you know, you still need to read the Bible to come to that and come to that understanding. So that's why school is so important. Anyway, so as we said, for a number, for a year to be a Jubilee, the year prior to that year, or let's put it this way, for a year to be a Jubilee, the 50th year, to be a 50th year Jubilee, the year prior to that year, the 49th year, has to be a multiple of 49. So it can be 49, 98. And what is 49 plus 98? I think it's 187 if I'm right. Okay. And keep on adding 49. All those years are multiples of 49. Just keep on adding 49 and adding the sums. So let's go backwards. And we also know the Jubilee year is the year after the Shemitah year. That's the only way Jubilee occurs after the Shemitah year of 49. But we don't know the Shemitah year of 49. So let's take Shemitah years of 7. Let's go to 2014, 2015. That was the last Shemitah year. We're in the Shavua now. We're in the third year of the fourth year of Shavua. We're in the fourth year of Shavua, the series of 7 ordained years from the Exodus. 7 ordained years from the Exodus. You count Exodus, 7 years to infinity, to everlasting. So we take the first Shemitah, the last Shemitah, which is 2014, 2015, which corresponds to the Jewish de facto year 5775. So simply say 5775 divided by 49. It gives a fraction. There's a decimal place, which means it can't be the 49th year because it has to be cleanly divisible. So that looks impossible. And that was a Shemitah year because 5775 is divisible by 7. And it gives 825. If you divide by 7, it gives 725. But if you divide 825 by a further 7, it gives a fraction, which means it's not the 49th year. We skip one Shavua from 5775, which corresponds with 2014, 2015, Gregorian calendar, the calendar we use in the West. We skip one Shemitah, one Shavua, a set of 7 ordained years from the Exodus. Because these years have been kept since the Exodus. Everybody knows when the Shemitah is, but nobody knew when the Jubilee is. So we skip one Shemitah and we count. So say 5775 plus 7. It gives 5782. Now we see 5782 is divisible by 49. We say divided by 49. Yes, it is. Hallelujah. And that is the year prior to the Jubilee. So it's divisible by 49 by 118. 5782, which corresponds to 2021, 2022, the year ahead. How many years ahead from 2017? 4 years ahead. That is the Jubilee year. I can find all this information in my book titled Jewish Calendar Fraud. Yes, you can find all the information in my book, Jewish Calendar Fraud. Prince Michael is the first of a trilogy of books. That's 3 books of a series. The second one will be out by Passover next year, Easter or whatever it's called. By Easter next year, the next one will be out, and that gives the Jubilee and the Shemitah, the Daniel 70th week, the Daniel 70 weeks in details, creation and so on, many figures, the coming of Messiah, the proof that the Bible is right, the flood, the proof of the flood, the figures and everything, the date of death of Messiah, rhyming, everything is it's exhaustive and comprehensive. There's no argument, no further need for any search. We got all the facts because it says in the Bible, Daniel concealed these things till the time of the end. Now it's been revealed. The Jubilee year is just 4 years from today, 2017, and this is almost the end of 2017. Today we are in November. This is 7 or 6. November 7. Today we're in November 7, 2000. Today we're in December 7, 2017. December 7, 2017. Yes, so that's it. So 2021, 2002, which corresponds to the year 5782, is the year prior to the Jubilee, which means the Jubilee is in the year 2002, 2003. That's a elusive Jubilee everybody has been searching for. That's when the Jubilee is in the year, the Gregorian year, the calendar of the West. 2022, September 2022 to September 2023. It could be October or September. Yes. And the Shemitah year, 5702, which is divisible by 49, is in 2021, 2022. September 2021 to September 2022. Yes, and I've explained to you why you don't have to count from creation as Jewish, because you're using Jewish de facto calendar years 5782, and that starts from their creation, not from the Exodus. But the Exodus happens on the 49th year, in the year 2252, as the Jews from Prince Michael's Jewish legitimate calendar, given the Exodus at 2667. This having been achieved by counting all the years from Adam to the Exodus, starting from Genesis 5:1, going to and reading down to the end of the chapter, going down to 10:11, Genesis 10:11, and reading down. And then when you end in Genesis 10:11, we start the ends at Abraham, Terah and Abraham. Then you know Abraham was 100 years old when he got Isaac. Isaac was 60 when he got Jacob. Now we deduce the age of Jacob. What he was when he bore Joseph from Pharaoh's interview of Jacob. When he asked him, how old are you? He said, the years of my pilgrimage are 130. And we knew Joseph became prime minister, premier of Egypt at the age of 30. At the age of 30 years old, plus 70 years of abundance and 2 years of famine when he met his brothers. And he told them, for these 2 years has been famine, and for the next 5 years, that's what he said. I forgot the chapter, at Genesis 42. Then they had to go back to get their father. But since we know they entered Egypt, because it says in Genesis 12, the sojourning of the children of Israel in Egypt was 430 years, and on that very day they came out of Egypt. On that same day they came out of Egypt, which means as that day, as the Exodus is the 15th of Nisan, 15 days into the beginning of the sacred calendar, the new year, and that journey as is the beginning of the year, that journey back to get the brothers from when they met Joseph, when he had revealed himself unto them, to get their father and their family from Canaan back to Egypt. It must have taken at least 2 weeks, or at most 2 weeks. So, and since the Exodus occurred on Nisan 15, and it says on that same day they left Egypt, as they had entered. It means they entered on the 15th as they had left, which means Joseph, when he made the utterance, these 2 years has there been famine in the land, and for the next 5 years it's going to be the same or worse. It means it could only have been at the end of the second year when he said, for these 2 years famine has been in the land. It could only be at the end of the second year of famine, of the death. So it took them 2 weeks from the end of the second year of famine, sometime during Adar, the month of Adar, the last month. That's when they made that utterance. Then it took them 2 weeks to get their parents. They're changing into a new year now, the third year. You get my point? From the second year, because he said, for these 2 years, which was the end of the second year, the year changed in Nisan for that period of the Bible, the sacred calendar. Which means when they got back after to and fro, it took about 2 weeks. It was already a new year, the third year, which means Joseph now, 30 years, became premier, Prince of Egypt, the great Prince of Egypt. 2 years of famine. Then the third year, 2 weeks into the third year, when they made a return trip back into Egypt. So which means Joseph now was 40. 30 plus 7 plus 2 plus the third year, just the 15th day of the third year. He was in his 40th year. So we subtract, since Jacob said he was 130, we subtract 40 from 130 and we get 90, which means Jacob was 90 years old when he got Joseph. So we know Joseph's age. So that's how we calculated the 2,667 years. From creation, Genesis 5:1, Genesis 10:11, moving on to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph. But just to get to Joseph, to continue the sequence, you move back to the Exodus. And you don't count Joseph's, you stop at the Exodus. And since you count Joseph, alright. But you stop at the Exodus because Joseph came before the Exodus. The Exodus is going out. He had come at the beginning. So you stand at the Exodus and you're lost again. There's no Bible dates. But if you go to 1 Kings 6, as I mentioned before, 1 Kings 6:1, it says at the 480th year after the Exodus, in the 4th year of Solomon. So you stand at the Exodus and it says 480 years, goes to the 4th year, project forward 480 years, goes to the 4th year of Solomon. And I had explained all that before. So easy. That's how you get it. Thanks for watching, and I hope this talk really helped many of you. And to get more on this matter, you just need to buy my book and read for yourself. Jewish Calendar Fraud. Jewish Calendar Fraud. Gaping Date Errors. Prince Michael A.Kwende. And you can get me on Amazon.com. You can get the book on Amazon.com for $19.99. If you buy 2 books, there's no shipping and posting. 2 or more books, There's no shipping and postage. You're just paying 39.98 for 2 books. If you buy 2 or more books, no shipping and posting. You get it on Amazon.co.uk at $14.99, or Amazon, the European websites, Amazon.it, Amazon.fr, Amazon.de, you get over €16.99. Or Canada, Amazon.ca. Even the Chinese website can still get the book. Yeah, you can follow me up on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. My Facebook page is facebook.com /King Kwende. That's my Jewish calendar fraud page about this book. Facebook.com King Kwende. Facebook.com /King Kwende. Facebook.com /King Kwende. Or you can go to my Angel Missions page. Angel, like angel, but this time with an E at the beginning. ENGEL. Angel Mission UK page on Facebook. It's a foundation I created for this end times to succor the children of Israel. To get to that page on Facebook, you need to go to facebook.com /King Michael the Great Prince. I repeat, to get to the Angel Missions page, you go to facebook.com /King Michael the Great Prince. Yes, that's my Facebook pages, 2 pages. And I have a website, but it's not yet running. It's called kingkwende.com, kingkwende.co.uk, kingkwende.net, and kingkwende.org. You can go to another website called michaelthegreatprince.com, michaelthegreatprince.co.uk, michaelthegreatprince.net, michaelthegreatprince.org. Okay, thanks a lot. Yep. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.